doesn't often get much media attention, especially in a small Ohio town.
They are children who are transgender. Tonight, we want to introduce you to a family who knew early on there was something different about their little boy, Jack. It has been a long journey, but it's a story that they are now willing to share. As 10 TV's Ashley Berry explains, it's the story of becoming Jackie.
This is a story of an ongoing journey that begins in a rural Ohio town, the type of place where everyone knows your name and where traditions run deep, a cozy place where the younger generation returns to establish families and lives. It's a place where parents Michael and Lynn are raising Samantha and Jackie.
Take a walk on the boardwalk.
You might expect to see this scene at many kitchen tables there. Mom, dad, and daughters enjoying a spirited round of Monopoly. It's a typical scene in all respects but one. Young Jackie began her life 11 years ago as a boy named Jack. From the beginning, their children were very close. But as time passed, Michael and Lynn noticed that Jack did not appear to be like other little boys in his preference for toys and colors. He seemed to want exactly what his sister Samantha was playing with, a trend that continued.
It was extreme for Jackie. It wasn't just the occasional play with a doll or play dress up with my older sister. It was when I'm playing, I'm the baby sister.
Jack took his role seriously, so seriously, in fact, that his mother recalled a conversation they shared on a family shopping trip.
One point in Walmart, I believe Jackie was 3, said, "Why did God make me be a boy?"
The following year, Jack requested a very specific type of cake for his birthday.
Show us your cake. Where's your cake?
A princess cake with pink trim. And in this home video, his body language speaks much louder than any words possibly could. There is no question which toy brought him the most joy. Jack's obvious delight with what is traditionally known as girl toys was not a passing phase, and the time was fast approaching for Jack to leave the security of home and enter the wider world of school. His parents worried about his adjustment and the reaction of his classmates to his different choice of toys and activities. This made his parents reluctant to continue allowing their son to play exclusively with girl toys.
At one point, we did try to stop it and took the Barbies and took them away and said the Barbie fairy came and took the dolls away.
In spite of their gentle and sensitive approach, the loss of his beloved toys made Jack deeply unhappy.
We had a sad child, and you could just tell that Jackie was just kind of, pining away for the dolls and wishing. And then when you start creating dolls and playing doll play with stuffed animals and other things that are around the house, it was, we thought this is crazy. There's nothing wrong with our child playing with these, so we brought them all back.
And Jack was happy again. His playtime was spent mainly inside of his home, behind closed doors, where he experimented with makeup and danced in dresses and played with Barbie dolls. By now, his parents began having real concerns. They had tried to interest Jack with more conventionally masculine toys, but Jack's true happiness came from the sparkly, glittery things that he had loved since babyhood.
But we tried to discourage it. When Jackie was little, it's okay for a boy to play with dolls when they're little like that, especially when they have an older sister. But then, when it didn't wear off, we would try to encourage more masculine toys and games and activities.
And we tried the sports, we tried scouts, we tried a lot of different activities, thinking something eventually might catch on, expose them to both, expose them to everything, and see what happens.
What happened was that Jack told his mother, in his own words, that he knew he was transgender.
She said, I'm a girl and I can't do this anymore.
Jack reached that critical point just 1 week after his 10th birthday. Jack was telling his mother that in every way except the physical, he was a girl. From that moment on, Jack became Jackie.
Usually I watch TV, but yeah, and sometimes I call my friends. Yeah, sometimes I have my friends over.
Jackie started taking ballet classes a few months ago and performed in the recital. She loves Lady Gaga and dressing up.
I got it for Christmas. I ran out of pants hangers.
Do you like that one?
Yeah.
Your favorite ones?
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had feelings of immediately I'm going to deny it or we need to stop this. It was, okay, this is different. Now we need to find out what we can do.
Michael and Lynn say the well-being of their child was most important to them, and they would take whatever steps necessary to ensure that Jackie could grow and flourish just as she was. But where would they begin?
We thought we'd maybe have to move to another community where we could be more anonymous, where nobody would know.
Yeah, at that time we thought it'd be good for her because we thought if there's bullying and people around and this is going to be problematic, I don't want to live in a community where I can't trust my child to walk around the block or is going to be harassed or bullied at school. Okay, we're starting to read again.
If they moved, they felt that they could establish Jackie's identity as a female and could protect her from the inevitable bullying and taunting from others. Samantha says Jackie was no stranger to that already.
They called her like little gay boy, and we'd go out in public and they'd be like, "Are you gay?" and stuff like that.
But although young, Jackie has remarkable strength.
I didn't care. If they wanted to do it, then they'll do it, but it doesn't bother me, so.
Armed with that strength and the support of her family, Jackie and her family decided to continue living in their own hometown.
We've met other families in Ohio. We know there are at least a half a dozen transgender people, children and adults in our own community. We had no idea that it was so close to us.
Public awareness of this transgender society is slowly growing. According to Meryl Crane, director of the Gender Dysphoria Program of Central Ohio, transgender children are coming out into the open.
They don't wake up one day and say, I think I'm going to be a boy, or I think I'm going to be a girl. That's not the point.
Crane explains that gender dysphoria, or confusion about gender identity, is not a choice that a child makes. It's an integral part of the child. Crane laments that these children have, for far too long, been the victims of psychological agony, bullying, and in certain cases, self-mutilation and suicide. But with growing awareness, Crane is optimistic about the futures of these children.
Nowadays, more and more enlightened families know about it, and they've been observing it, and they are the witnesses.
They, like Michael and Lynn, are willing to share their experiences with others and to let them know that they're not alone.
When Jackie told me this in that first few weeks, I thought, we're probably one of 2 cases in the whole world. I felt like we're out there alone. There's no precedent for this. It's just not so common.
That scared us to death. And I think we both realized right off the bat that we're not going to let Jackie become one of those suicide statistics.
What color do you want?
They would not try to remake Jackie or force her to deny the person she believes she is. Jackie would live her life as a girl, openly and without fear.
Did you like what you saw?
No.
When you look in the mirror now, do you like what you see?
Yeah.
Once she made that disclosure and started enjoying different things, there was no stopping it.
Do people accept you?
Yeah.
And that makes you more comfortable?
Yeah.
It turns out, in this rural Ohio town, traditions include tolerance and acceptance.
I don't know where to go.
As for Jackie, she has many friends, a flurry of activities, and a continuing journey ahead. But for now, she's just busy enjoying life and being herself.
I feel the bird.
Free she is. Jackie will face a course of pituitary blocking treatments as she enters puberty and further counseling. Eventually, she will undergo hormone treatments. The topic of transgender children is becoming more widely discussed in our community, and we would like you to join the conversation. We are hosting a web chat tonight beginning at 8 o'clock on 10tv.com with an expert who can answer your questions and provide resources. Log on to 10tv.com. Next.